desperate waiters for those in a desperate situation. Homeless and hungry, Pakistans displaced, reliant upon aid.
Major disaster may be unfolding right now in Haiti, hit today by a powerful earthquake.
Yeah, how many gorillas who are actually killers really rhymes? Artists that actually sign still killing. But when it comes to killing them, might be not willing, and I'm supposed to be shook. That's the shit to kill me. Take the bullet from a rock on a balcony, then vanish. Extinguish the sun when I drew a play proof with the planets. We all renegade, the movement outlandish. My shit straight from the soul. God damn it, it's the one time only. Vernacular, original, miraculous, spectacular flow. Computer digital, persistent part of pitiful. Ridiculous, minuscule. Foul march, you need to pump that ass like municipal and listen to an enigma. The anomaly, your mama nominated me phenomenal, but dominated without a six-pack abdominal. You can get 19 put through that. Like I'ma do, so what I'ma do is separate the falls from the QS. You a mass, not trying to ball like you mass. So phenomenal with mics that don't like myself. Say don't match the system, see I bite myself. But not cameo though. There's no Grammy to show for the love that people hand me on the street. I understand. Grade school mathematics examining thugs. They discuss blood, spit, sex, jamming, and drugs. I speak world peace, war, famine, and flood. Watch your pants labyrinth while I'm unraveling bud. Gambling on the next rapper to die in the hood. If God shall choose that artist to be me, let one verse of the song be a reflection of a pedigree. Better than your back catalog recipe. The legacy of which guitar well remembers me. Quote, not edit me, let it be said. I'm top 5 all time alive. We know that's been stated and so overused. So here's the overview of rhymes to feed over you in a million man statement is so overdue. And pardon if it sounds a little easy. Not playing motherfuckers that got asthma, it's not easy. Shotgun lyrical, cop back, squeeze me. Women case my anatomy, touch me, tease me. Please seize the moment in the struggle against Lucifer. Renegade 13, the executioner. Spit with a crucifix. So that you can expect the rant from Pharaoh March like Mucinex. Get used to it, get used to wisdom, get used to usage of a backwards euphemism.
Good morning, niggas. Welcome back to another episode of the T.O.P Cast. I am your host, the incredible T.O.P. And this is episode 2 of the Übermensch series, Destructive Truth. And I'm joined by none other than my very special guest, Mr. Idgafmindset. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the T.O.P Cast. Glad to have you. Before we get started, could you please plug your social media so the people will know where to get to you at?
Yes. I'm proud to be here. I'm truly humbled to be here. And my social media is I_DGAF_mindset. Catch me on IG with that. I_DGAF_mindset. I talk about men being men again, being greater versions of themselves through spirituality and semen retention. But it's all about making men great again.
Indeed. Again, I'm glad to have you. And for all you folks who don't know, this is not the first drop that me and Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck Mindset has done. You can catch our other drop on semen retention over on Anchor Podcast. Check it out. Anyway, back again with the Übermensch series, episode 2, Destructive Truth. And as I outlined in my previous 2 live drops on this series, an Übermensch is essentially a Superman, or another way to think about it is becoming like Neo. And in this particular episode, we're dealing with destructive truth, which is the second step of the philosopher's journey. It is the step after you awaken from your dream. It's the step in which all of us have to take so that we can get away from the facade of reality and deal with actual reality. So I relate this to Neo's path in the Matrix, but it can also be related to a lot of guys' red pill journey, because they parallel each other perfectly. And what I mean by that is just like Neo was once asleep and ignorant of the real world, a lot of guys were once asleep and ignorant about women. And they all have gone through this process of destructive truth where they had to unlearn everything that they learned and relearn everything new. Do you have any particular thoughts on that?
I couldn't agree more, man. Just to every man has a journey, and that journey, it is physical, but it's also up here mental. And we all have, like with Neo, throughout his life, everything that he has been doing in that movie led him up until that point. So that point for a lot of men may come at the age of 30. For some men, depending on how sunken they are, so I'll take sunken place, depending on how on their low level of awareness of not understanding the truth, they may be their own Neo at the age of 60. So we have to understand that your life journey is to become like Neo, is to become fully aware of your surroundings and your environment and the role that you play in your environment. Because the environment, as men, we are the way I look at it, power does not move. Power is a still object. So power, people react to power. So if you were in the Matrix, you are being reactive. You're just going. You're like the ocean, just flowing with the ocean, just flowing. You're going with what everybody else is doing. And in that movie, it's like an epiphany. Like boom, you are now chosen to walk this path. That's the way I look at it. And every man goes through it, but it's a lot of it is mental. A lot of it is mental.
Yeah, absolutely. Where the mind goes, the body should surely follow. And I'm pretty sure you may be familiar with, that sentiment. But what I've come to notice in my time in the quote unquote manosphere or red pill space is that a lot of guys experience a period of what's called red pill rage. And I would equate that period to the period of destructive truth, where you learn that what you thought was true is not true. And I imagine, especially because of the terminology itself, that a lot of guys, they feel like they've been duped or lied to, and nobody likes to be made a fool of. And I say that to say that although that's the case, in order for you to really get to any truth, you have to take these steps, and destructive truth being one of those steps. I find that a lot of people, when they are presented with new information, they have difficulty accepting it. And so they have a tendency to either remain fully asleep or in some kind of a sleep state. And I think that's very detrimental to your growth as a person. And if you don't embark on this path that this series is about, then you might as well be one of those pod people that Neo seen when he woke up, which is unfortunately most people in this world today.
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying, like being knowing the truth is knowing, okay, like it's like knowing that you have to take medication to get well, but you think, no, I don't. I could do whatever I want. But the truth,
I could drink water.
I could drink water and I'll heal myself just because that's my belief. But you have to, when you're learning the truth, and I say this personally to speak on red pill rage. When I learned it, I was like, damn, this is female nature. It is what it is. I went out for a whole year. I dog chicks out. I was like, nah, this is. I was like, it was. I was bringing out the rage of understanding the truth. I was bringing it on to other people. I wasn't growing the people that I was around, not just women, just people around me in general. Like I'd be trying to tell people like, nah, you're doing wrong. She gonna do you dirty. She gonna do you this, that. Nah, the world is fucked up. But it's like I'm talking to people that aren't ready to receive the information.
Exactly.
If someone's mind isn't ready to receive the information, you're wasting your energy. You're wasting your time.
Exactly. Just like Morpheus said to Neo in the Matrix, they have a rule. Once a mind gets a certain age, we don't try to wake them up.
That's true.
And I follow that rule generally because a lot of people, like in the description from my channel, they're comfortable living the lie. You know, they're not ready to make this kind of a move in their life.
Nah, people have to be ready to receive it. Like I consider myself a mentor, and I mentor my younger brothers and other guys in general. And it's like you could tell when somebody is being combative with the conversation. They're like, nah, this is how it is. I'm like, dude, I've been on this earth almost 15 years, and so I look at things from a very different perspective. And knowing the truth, I think in knowing the truth as men, we have to get out of looking at things from one person's perspective. Like I'll give you guys a personal story in my life where I had to stop looking at things from a different perspective. And one thing on my channel, I always keep things real and 100. Like I'm an open book, you know, I live life out like that. So I was incarcerated for some time, right? And a lot of people can look at that as a negative aspect in one's life. But that was the first time in my life that I was able to read more than the Bible. I was around Islamic people. I was around all these different religions and people. And then it had me thinking, damn, if I was born on the north side of a certain kind of country, my mindset would be different. And that's part of the truth too. It's like telling somebody that, yo, if you go to another country, this is how it is, but they have tunnel vision, just saying, no, this is how it is for me. This is how it's always gonna be. No, the truth is you have to look at things from other people's perspective. And in understanding other people, you better understand yourself. I think that as a man, that's part of your journey to knowing what the truth is. Seeing things from different perspectives. What do you feel? What do you think about that?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And as a matter of fact, I've even made the statement that I disagree when I hear people say my truth. There really is no such thing as a truth for an individual person. Now, what's true about what you've experienced in your life is the truth.
Correct.
But what I find a lot of people miss when they make that statement is that the truth that they speak of as theirs happened in the context, and the context being it happened around other people. So those people are included in your truth, even if they didn't play a direct part in what happened with you. So I don't agree with that sentiment that people have a personal truth. And I also try to iterate to people, even though I know most people are not listening, but the things that I say are not for everybody. It's only for the people who can hear it. Cool. You know what I'm saying? That words are very, very important. They kind of work like the bricks that you use when you build your house. Well, if you know anything about construction, you have to put a wall together a particular way. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with your words. It's put together a certain way. You have to put them together a certain way. It's the same thing with your path in life. It's put together in a certain way.
And just to speak on words, like one thing I'm understanding about myself and other people is that once you understand words, right, and you're speaking to somebody and they say words like, man, like you got to be weak, you got to be this. They say words like weak, right? And one thing you have to understand as with words, guys, people are describing themselves with their words, even though they're having a normal conversation with you. Like it's like talking to somebody that's been around crime a lot, and it's like there's been through a lot of shit. He'll be like, man, this shit, everything is hard, everything is difficult, man. Motherfuckers gonna get you if you don't watch out. And he may be right, but he's speaking on his own experience. So I may look at things like, nah, it's just not really hard or it's not easy. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? The truth doesn't really change. It's just this is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Like from day one to day 100, the truth is what it is. So my thing is, what do you how do you think men that are listening to this can evolve in knowing like, yo, the truth is what it is, like, and that it doesn't change? How do you think if men knew that, things would be better? Because I view men as we are the leaders, like we set the tone, but the lack of people not knowing the truth and knowing who they are is kind of is a trickle down effect to everybody else. Even if I go deeper, we talk about it, it even affects the species as well, the animals,
Mhm.
nature. So what do you think? What do you think if men were able to be aware of the truth? How can that affect the rest?
Well, I think that things on this planet would be a lot different amongst people, for one. But the main problem I see with most guys is that why they have a lot of problems, not just with women, but life in general, is because they're not honest. They
Mm,
say that they live in their truth, or they may speak it out their mouth, but when you really question them about it, you'll find that they're not really being honest. And
correct.
that's really one of the most important keys, at least for men, is that you have to have self-respect. And what self-respect is that you're honest with yourself. You don't lie to yourself. And a lot of dudes function like a lot of these females out here. They will lie to themselves, and they know they lying to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And as a man, you don't have that luxury. That's
No,
reserved. Reserved for women and children.
correct.
But if men were more honest with themselves about who they are and the things that motivate them, then
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they will have a lot less problems. But
I
you can only lead the horse to the water. You can't make them drink it.
You can't make it drink it. And this is a concept that I thought about. And I'm like, because we live in a society that promotes like not being fully honest. And I'll say
Mhm,
it like this. It starts from a young age, right? We all
mhm,
want to teach our children to tell the truth, correct? Tell the truth,
mhm,
regardless of the outcome. You know you told the truth, and that's going to become a habit. Now,
mhm.
I was talking to my barber last week, and I was like, is it wrong to tell children that Santa Claus is real, is a real person,
Mhm,
right? Because now, right, the child looks at you as the leader, right?
mhm.
But at the end of the day, society is really the leader if you allow it to be. So how can we circumvent that by saying, look, Santa Claus is real? Like you're actually, what you're doing is you're feeding the children a lie at a very
Very
young
young
age.
age,
So
and
now,
just I gotta chime in here because I just had this conversation with some females on a Facebook post,
okay.
and essentially my sentiments were the same as yours, or what I'm, the impression I'm getting from you.
Mhm.
And I basically said to these women that you're teaching your children to lie at
Indirectly,
very early, indirectly. And not only are you doing that, but you are giving credit to an imaginary person for something that they did not do.
because of peer pressure
So
from society.
so you psychologically damaging your children to start with. But they're yours, so you can do whatever you want to them. But just understand the kind of repercussions it's going to have out here in the real world. And I wasn't surprised because I anticipated it. But
Mm.
virtually every female on that post said that they teach their children about Santa. And I said to myself, that's why all of y'all would be disqualified from fucking with me. Cause you can't tell the truth.
Correct.
And what I advise guys to do is to have some integrity as a man
Hmm.
and understand, especially when you're dealing with women, that you're not telling her the truth for her per se, even
Correct.
though you doing it for yourself so that you can have a code about yourself.
Correct.
And a lot of guys don't have a code, and that's part of their problem.
Or they're
But
following the code of the
go ahead.
women they were around their whole lives.
That's true. Very
That's
true.
a huge part of it. And I think it's just it's a year ago, I couldn't have this type of conversation with certain people. Even when I asked that question about the Santa Claus thing, I was in a barbershop, and the whole barbershop, the dude that was cutting my hair, he was like, "Nah, I tell my daughter the truth." But a lot of guys, they couldn't defend that, because now, by me asking that question, like, are you teaching your kids how to lie? They have to think a different way. Be like, damn, am I teaching my kids how to lie, or am I just following what I know my whole life? So, and I say that to say that.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. I just wanted to chime in that what I would like to say to people, and what I want them to understand, is that lying is not necessarily good or bad. Everything in life has a purpose. Otherwise, it wouldn't even exist. But for me personally, how I live my life, yeah, I lied before, but I reserve my lies for when they really, really need it. So, for example, I'm going to lie to the police because I ain't trying to go to jail. But I'm not getting ready to lie to no female just because I want to have sex with her. You understand what I'm saying?
And I think it's even there. The thing about you and I speaking, we have a different perspective, different perspectives. Because when I think about lying, I'm like, okay, it's a survival tool, right? You're gonna tell an officer a certain thing to survive in a certain situation. So understanding that a lot of people, and this is where you have to take the shackles off your mind, right? Like when someone lies, it's they feel you judge yourself, right? You judge yourself because society deems that as not so positive behavior. But at the same time, like, it's still an action. Now, if you lie with positive intent, you create positive intent, right? Same thing. And I had this discussion with one of my cousins. I'm like, yo, what is murder for real? If I kill somebody because they're trying to harm my children, is that really is it a sin at that point? You know what I'm saying? Or is it something that we judge ourselves because society judges us? So once you remove, when people say judge a lot, when people say things like not so positive words, I listen to it because I'm listening to their subconscious. People speak who they are, and I think if God just understood that and truly seek the truth, you're gonna be free, man. And you're gonna be free mentally, and then you start your own truth. You start your own principles. You start to have rules that you create to govern who you are. Like you start to, like, when I'm to guys that are listening to this, I mean specifically create rules for all aspects of your life. And understand, we live in a society that I'm gonna bring up alpha real quick. We live in a society where everybody says alpha, but if you're living in America, the alpha is the government, right? They make the laws that we abide by. Make your own personal laws within that framework, and build upon that, and that's gonna be and seek the truth, man. Seek it, because the truth is uncomfortable as fuck, man.
That's what this series is all about. You know, that's the subtitle. This series, the Übermensch series, is a guide to freeing your mind. Because, like I said previously, there's only two ways to escape the matrix, because we in it.
Yes.
All of us.
Knowing you in it is number one. Knowing you in it.
Knowing that you're in it is number one. But the only two ways that you can escape this matrix is you have to go within yourself, because nobody else could go there but you. Or death. That's it. Those two avenues. But just to keep with the topic, a lot of folks, in regards to what you just said about the truth, you know, a lot of folks, this is why they don't even get out of the dream stage, because they're not ready to deal with the truth. They're not really willing to go through that period of destructive truth to actually get to what is true. And so a lot of people, in my opinion, are daydreaming or sleepwalking. through their
Correct.
life, and
That's
they don't ever really live. They think they do, but not really.
That's very, very true. That's and I just feel like guys need to know this, man. And on a spiritual level, the fact that you and I are talking about this right now, and first of all, before I begin, yo, if you watching this content right now, show some love, PayPal, whatever you want to do, show some love to this guy, because anytime you listen to information that is growing you and you support that, you are making a ripple effect in the universe. Because whatever you need in life, whatever business you're trying to start, you're gonna need people to do it. So just support my guy Top, man. But I always like to say, guys, be a truth seeker. Like, open up your mind. And yo, we still on?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay. I just see.
you speaking, so I'll let you have the camera.
Okay, so it's just one of the things that I realized as at a young guy was that I would always watch X-Men. I know you're a Marvel guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would always tell myself, damn, I want to be able to like have Professor Xavier's powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when you're young like that, you don't know the power that your subconscious has. And as I've gotten older, I've realized to a certain extent, when people are around me, they say certain words that I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
So is that saying that did I put a limit on my mind at a young age like that? Am I saying is that a coincidence that, like, when I'm speaking with people, the conversations are easy because they say trigger words subconsciously that they don't know they say? I don't want to get too much into that because it's gonna go over people's heads, but your mind is designed to find the truth and create your own framework through it. What do you think about that, Mr. Top?
Well, I agree with you 100%, bro. It's a lot of guys think that it only applies to women, but it applies to us guys too. You know, where your mind goes, your body is going to follow. You know, the things you feed yourself mentally is going to reflect in your external life.
Correct.
And this is why I'm so heavy on telling the truth, because it's really the only way to enlightenment. Truth is enlightenment.
Correct.
But a lot of people are you know, they find the truth to be uncomfortable. And so they're not ready to accept it. And like I said, a lot of people prefer to stay asleep, you know, kind of like Cypher in the Matrix. You know, if you let them out, they're ready to run right back because, like you said, the truth is very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and I would also like to point out that not only can the truth be destructive, it can also be constructive. So destructive truth will peel away all of the old things that you used to believe was true. Like, you used to believe women was good girls until you found out otherwise.
Correct.
It was uncomfortable when you found that out. But some way or another, you found a way to deal with that.
That's very true.
Well,
yeah, you adapt. Like, I'll tell you
that applies to anything in your life, not just women.
I'll tell you one of my truths in regards to women. Like, I would always question shit at a young age, but I never knew why. Like, one of my friends, and this was like maybe I was 13 or 14. I would always walk around. I was telling this chick, I was like, yo, rules are made to be broken. Like, she was like, what do you mean? I was like, rules were made because somebody broke a law and somebody else created it. So I was like, I would always say rules were made to be broken. Name a rule that hasn't been broken. And I say that now because I'm thinking, like, I always thought like there's shit that I had an understanding, but my mind wasn't ready to get there yet.
Exactly. I went through that same type of thing.
Really?
Where absolutely, I believe everybody goes through that. Where in the earlier part of your life, you see things.
Yeah.
But you're not quite sure what you're looking at.
Exactly.
And then when you get a little more information, you know, you mature a little bit, you look back and you say, oh, So that's what that was.
Exactly.
You know, and that also is an example of destructive truth,
Yeah.
where it basically all destructive truth mean is you've learned something that's actually true that has peeled away something that you used to believe that wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people suffer from their beliefs because their beliefs are not true. They're not reflected in reality.
Correct.
And it's a hindrance. And I don't think a lot of people really get that.
Yeah, and just to touch on a female perspective, because this is, females are a part of life, guys, whether you want to accept it or not, they're a part of your life. One thing you have to understand when you talk to women about this, one thing you have to understand is women are natural followers, right? They're it built into their DNA is natural. It's natural for them to follow. So when you're speaking to a woman about Christmas, things like that, how lying, they're gonna automatically veer towards what society is doing. The same thing with women. Like now, the beauty in women is having fake shit, fake that, fake that. I'm not saying that is what I like, but that is the standard. A woman has fake ass, fake titties. She's now deemed as attractive because they follow the trend. So understand that first of all, if you're just agreeable with everything in life and you don't question anything, then that means you're not woke yet, guys. Like the woke term is being overused. I would say you lack awareness of your
And
surroundings.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I would even say that a lot of guys, they are stuck in the destructive truth phase two. And I made a video about this. I think I took it down or made it private, something like that. But the conclusion that I came to is a lot of guys are still experiencing red pill rage. It's just not very, very blatant.
Yeah.
But when you hear what they say, when you listen to their remarks, it's very, very obvious that they're still suffering from red pill rage because they haven't fully accepted.
Correct.
They haven't graduated from step two. They haven't fully accepted
Yeah.
what's true, and it's
And
very, very unfortunate.
yeah, and I use myself as an example, guys. I'm just a regular guy that has big dreams, and I tell people, man, like once you remove anger from your life,
Mm,
then I'm not anger. I wouldn't say anger is good, but anger in if to survive can be good. But when you remove like anger completely from your life and you use logic a lot of like 90% of the time or even 100% of the time, then things just it is like that's what like women are going to be. They're gonna latch on to other things. They're built to they're made to survive. They want to live their best life. So if a woman is first of all, if a woman's not respecting you, that's something you have to look at yourself, right? And that's another truth that I don't think guys are ready for. It was like even before my awareness, right? I would always tell my chick, yo, if some other dude gets you, it's really on me. And this is before I had any this crazy level of awareness. I would say, yo, if something happens, it's because my shit wasn't tight enough. My game wasn't tight enough.
mm,
And it was like that, like you said, that's taking responsibility for your actions.
mhm,
If something ain't working for you, like it's don't look external, look internal first.
mhm.
So it's like
Exactly.
in my personal experience again, I remember when I stood up in front of that judge and the judge was like, "What do you have to say for yourself?" And I was like, honestly, it was me. Like
Mhm,
I did what I did, like, and I accept whatever punishment is gonna happen. And I
mm,
think in understanding that was a huge part of my growth to become who I am now. So it is a
mhm.
journey. It is a journey, and everything that you guys have to understand, everything that's happening to you in life, it's happening for a purpose. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, in that purpose, you have to be the one to take action to steer your life and where it needs to go. So
Mhm,
remove blame because honestly, women blame. Like that's in like they blame, and they
mhm,
need men to carry them out of that blame through logic and the truth. So
mhm,
telling the truth, like being honest with people in general, the way I view it, it's a habit. And once you change a habit in your mind, your body changes, your actions change, and you then control your destiny based on the truth.
Not only that,
Yeah.
but what I think all other people need to realize in regards to the topic at hand is that once you become solidified in walking the path of the truth, what will happen is you will invariably push people into a situation of destructive truth, because you are destroying their long held beliefs.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? So not only do you have to go through this for yourself, but once you go through it and you get to the other side, you become like a hot spot that forces other people to do the same thing, or whether they actually do it or not. But you put them in a position. You put them in a position where they have to destroy what they thought was true and accept something that really is true.
Yeah, you telling people like your ego doesn't want to be wrong. And I can speak to this. When I was in my 20s, yo, you couldn't tell me shit. Like you couldn't tell me what I was doing was not, like, you could not tell me shit. And I paid for that, but I still lived in that. And now understanding that, damn, me trying to talk is like me trying to talk to an 18-year-old is like, I view it as trying to talk to myself to a certain extent. I don't judge him. I don't, like, I was at a stage in my life where I was sagging my pants too. I don't judge them. I don't, I just, it is what it is. I judge people by their actions.
Absolutely. Actions. I judge people by their actions and by their words. And what I mean by that is what you say out your mouth. I'm judging that to see if it corresponds with how you behave.
Yeah, congruency. Yeah, you gotta be
exactly. Gotta be. So that's just how I go about doing it myself personally. But
you gotta be congruent, guys. And congruent is just that's a pillar of being a man. Like, you gotta be straightforward. You gotta be direct.
Your actions and words should line up.
Yes,
especially when it comes to dealing with women. That's what's going to make them trust you.
Yes, and this what I'm talking about, guys. If, let's say, for example, you are a guy that you dating a chick or whatever, you dealing with a woman, and you meet her, and you are one of those guys that talks on the phone a lot, right? And that's how you got her. Why would you stop and then you stop talking on the phone a lot? So you are not being congruent with who she met. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just like on the opposite side, if you're a guy that doesn't talk a lot on the phone and you got her that way, and you start talking on the phone, what do you think is gonna happen, guy?
How you start is how you finish.
Exactly. And women don't even understand this. I was talking to a chick yesterday that we used to work together, and I would tell her, I tell the chick from the jump, I don't want no kids. I don't want no kids. And she's like, don't ever tell them that. And in my mind, I didn't. She was a little tipsy, so I was just letting her speak. And I was like, so she's telling me straight up to lie, like to not be upfront. But she doesn't even know that I tell a chick that, and if I say something different later on, that means I'm not who I was.
Exactly. Not only that, but like I tell guys all the time, and all they have to do is just be quiet for a minute and just observe, and they'll see that what I'm saying is true. But women watch you.
Yeah, they watch you.
They study you.
Yeah, that's their job. That's their job.
The text that you sent her yesterday, she'll have it in her phone 4 years from now if she still got the phone.
That's fact.
So it don't. That's why you guys get caught cheating in your relationships, because you inconsistent, or not inconsistent, but incongruent.
Yeah.
You lied today and then you want to tell the truth tomorrow.
And what that does to a woman, it lets them know that you're not somebody they respect.
Exactly.
You're not somebody like you're not somebody that they respect. Like if I meet a chick now and I'm like, yo, you got a fat ass, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite part of your body that I love. And then next week I'm talking about, oh, your mind is this, your mind is that. that's not really congruent because her attraction was based off of the fact that I like that part of her body. Now I'm not saying go tell every chick that, but that's what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? So be like the truth. Now I'm talking about truth within yourself. Maybe we can start veering into some of the truths about like some of the truth that society tells a lot of guys, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another thing I'd also like to point out to you guys is that I personally am on the very same journey that I'm making videos about. This video series is not just about you, it's about me too. And like plants, all of us are not going to be at the same level at the same time. So don't stress yourself over that. But you do need to start. But what I would like to say to you guys is that once you get on this path, especially when you get to this stage, the second stage, that being the stage of destructive truth, you'll find that it's actually going to help you improve with women because you'll be able to teach them shit.
Yeah.
And you will be able to pull them away from their former beliefs because you've shown them something that was true. But you approach them with the truth to start with.
Correct.
So of course she's going to accept the things that you say. I don't think a lot of guys realize just how important being honest is. And again, you're not doing it for her, fellas. You're doing it for yourself.
And everything that Top just said, think about what he just said. He said being honest. Do you need money to be honest, guys? Nah. Do you need looks to be honest, guys? Nah. That's internal. And that is attractive. Like I'll tell you another personal story. I got this is one of a family member story. One of my family members owned a strip club, right? He would have the chicks come dance, right? And after that, before they got the job, he would critique their ass, right? He'd be like, "Look, you need to lose 5 pounds right there. You're not fit to work here, and you can't work here." And the feedback from the women be like, "Damn, most people don't even break that down like that. Like most people just say, okay, you got a fat ass, you got the job." You know what I'm saying? But if you're able to break it down and tell them the truth, it is so rare, my dude. It is so rare nowadays that I'm realizing this shit. Like people they're not themselves, man.
Oh, absolutely. Women are generally never themselves.
Nah. So it's like when they find something that's like, yo, this what he is and he's not changing, they'll be like, yo, like I remember I was out at a bar and one of the chicks I was dealing with saw me and I was talking to this other chick and she was like, "Motherfucker, you ain't changed, have you?" And I was like, no, she didn't say you haven't changed. She was like, "You still doing the same shit?" I'm like, "Yeah, so what's up?" You know what I'm saying? It's just that has to be who you are, man. And that comes to knowing who you are and knowing, okay, once you know the truth, it's easier to like have a strategy for your life.
Exactly.
By knowing the truth, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know what your triggers, you know what you like, you know what you dislike. And once you know that, it's easy for you to align your life, man. So we're not, and that is, and if you guys take anything of this, understand you have to have a strategy for your life, man. Because the government got a strategy for your ass from day one. They got a strategy for your ass. They was like,
and that's the truth. And that's the truth. But the operative word in this entire discussion is truth.
Yeah.
That is the operative word.
I like your articulation, man. I can't articulate shit as good as you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I'm working on it. I appreciate the compliment, man. Because I tell you, man, my mind be going 100 miles an hour, but sometimes my mouth just can't keep up, or vice versa. So I certainly appreciate the compliment, bro.
I just tell
I'm working on it.
I'm like, yo, this is what it is. This is how I like the way you are. I can learn from that. Articulation is I need to add that to my I need to get better at that. But I like that. I like it.
There you go. So a bit of destructive truth. See, fellas, it's nothing mysterious about it. All it means basically is what you used to think was true is not true.
Nah, it's not. It's
And
not.
now that you have the truth, you have a responsibility. You understand what I'm saying? Not just to yourself, but to other people,
Yeah,
because that's what's missing out here in this world.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and like you just alluded to, the guy, the upfront, honest, truthful guy is the guy that 1 out of 1,000 that
yeah.
these chicks meet.
That's
And
facts.
I will say it once again. A lot of guys just don't get how much of a turn on that is for women.
Yeah.
When she know that this is a solid dude, I could take what he's saying to the bank. This is how you get women to respect you, fellas.
This is how you get a chick to drop everything she's doing and just make you priority number one because you are solid, yo. And
Mhm.
I value that more than anything, especially because the reason I value that is because I now know that we as men set the tone, yo. We set
Mhm.
the tone for society, and it's like once you know that, it's like damn. It's like first of all, it's like you got a new layer of your eyes open up, and
Mhm.
then you're able to because I once was that kind of individual, right?
Mhm.
I'm able to spot it in other people. And then
Mhm.
I don't judge. I just accept people for what they are, but I keep people at a distance, but I don't judge them. I'm just like, he's on his journey too. I don't know
Mhm.
what his upbringing was, how he was raised, because all those play a factor to who you are now. So
Mhm.
remove judgment from people because if you're judging somebody, that means you're judging yourself.
Mhm.
So
And I would also like to point out to you fine folks that's watching this live and the folks who will catch this playback. A lot of us, particularly us red, quote unquote, red pill guys,
awareness,
uh,
yeah.
all of us are either right now going through this or we've already graduated from it to the next step.
Yeah.
So just understand, I'm already talking about you. Again, this is a guide to free your mind. I'm just guiding you along. Don't,
Mm-hmm.
don't shoot the messenger, fellas.
Nah. This message it's coming from a I call it the universal consciousness. And I always say in my videos, if you're watching this type of content, you are a top 5% man in the world
Mm,
because there's not a lot of people that that are ready to receive this information. I'm
mm,
not, and this goes against I don't care your economic level or any kind of level you are in life. Like you subscribing to this type of information, looking within yourself, finding who you are, yo. It is at first it was tough, but now I'm like, yo, if I know this at my age, where the fuck am I gonna be at 10 years from now?
exactly. Or
You know what
or
I'm saying?
or
Where
or
am I?
or you may have a tendency like me and say to yourself, imagine where I could be if I would have been thinking like this 10 years ago.
Oh my god, yo, that's the stuff I do my best not to think about
Mm,
because it's like I can't control I can only do what I can now, and
mm,
that's what fuels my channel. Like, damn, I know if I get one person to change their mindset, right, and really adopt a I don't give a fuck mindset is what I always say. You free yourself, man, and a huge part
mm,
of that is like I'm gonna say it's not giving a fuck what people think, man. Like
exactly.
not giving a fuck what people think about you because that is rare in itself, man.
Well, the thing is people going to have an opinion about you
Yeah,
anyway,
regardless,
and
regardless.
it's gonna always either be good or bad, and depending on who the person is, that's subject to change.
Yeah,
So, I kind of take that kind of a thing with a grain of salt. People gonna be who they are. They gonna think what they think, and it is what it is. It's not up to me to change it for them. It's up
yeah.
to them to change it. So I can't waste any time in my life being overly concerned about something like that.
Hmm,
You know
hmm.
what the path I'm on. you know, what I have to do is much, much more important than that.
Correct.
And so I don't waste a lot of time, you know, worrying about things like that. Cause you're gonna have, like they say, you if you don't have haters, you ain't doing something right anyway.
That's right. And I think I gave one of my brothers an analogy, man. I'm like, if you become a rapper, right? And there's a million people sharing your name, you have to understand that you can still perform the same way with nobody chanting your name.
Mm-hmm.
So, that the reason I say that is because as men, we can't always seek external validation.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything external is because of you, and everything comes from the inside out.
That's facts.
So you have to understand that the crowd, the people that's cheering, and I say this because in my incarceration, I had people fucking with me just because of who I was. And then when you hit a rough patch, those same people are a little different.
Mm-hmm.
They change a little bit. So it had me sit back and like, oh wow, like okay, I see things now, and that's part of knowing the truth too. That everybody ain't really there like you think they are. Like even understanding that we're all not built equally. That's
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in life that's 100% equal, not even two of the same atom. So you know,
nothing is built equally, man. Like
that is a bit of destructive truth.
Yeah, that's the narrative that's being pushed. Like equality. We are not equal. Once we accept the fact that we're not equal as men, women, black, white, anything, just understand we are what we are. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. I don't want to get to gender and all that, but I have deep opinions on that too. But it's more like I am what I am. Like, and I'm gonna work with my framework. And I thank the universe or whatever you want to call it, God, for having me the way that I am.
Exactly.
Like, and I'm one of them cats, like I talk to God the same way I'm talking to you, Top. Like I don't like I talk to him the same way because he knows my intentions. You know what I'm saying? So you guys have and it comes as simple as this is specific things now. It comes as simple as if you're religious and you believe in a higher power, talk to it. And ask for the truth in all areas of your life. And what's going to happen is situation will pop up in front of you that the truth has to come out. And it starts from asking your mind, like, yo, I want to know what's really going on. Like I'm scared. I'm tired of being like not knowing what's going on. Like I need to know what's going on. And the universe will give it to you guys. I am and I'm a living proof of that.
I'll relay you an example of exactly what you're talking about because it happened to me in my life. This happened back in 2018. Okay. I was thinking in my head, damn man, I want to have me a baby.
Oh, okay.
And I asked the universe for that, and it came. But when it came, I wasn't ready, or not ready. But I was asking for something that I didn't really want.
Now let me ask you a question. What made you want that? What made you desire that?
I was having that a combination of being as old as I am and not having children. So, you know, like some guys describe it for women as they got a biological clock. And I don't think that guys have a biological clock because we could pretty much have children almost all our life. But I would describe the feeling as feeling like I was having a biological clock ticking. You know, it was just something that I wanted.
Correct.
And I'm just relaying this experience to give you know some context to what you're saying about how when you ask the universe for something, you know, not only do you have to be prepared to receive it, but you better make sure that you sure about what you want before you ask for it, because you ask for it and the universe will give it to you.
That's law right there. That's law. That's law. You ask for something, it's gonna come. That's law. That's like whatever you throw out there. You can call it karmic law. You can call it law of thinking. You can call it law of attraction. Putting your mindset ready to receive a child. Like you have to. If you ask for it, it's gonna happen. Like that is just law, my people. That is spiritual law, metaphysical law. That shit happens. That shit is a part of it. Like that's just I can't. There's no other way for me to say that. I'll give another perfect example. I was doing burpees at the crib one time. This is when I first started my weight loss. I was doing burpees, right? I was doing burpees, and in my mind, I was like, man, I could do these burpees in prison, yo. I could do these burpees in prison. You know, I could do this shit. My house is a fucking prison. I could do this shit. 3 or 4 years later, I was doing burpees in prison.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize the power of words. And like I said before, that's why I try to highlight that.
This shit is real, man. Like, and it's not, that's when I didn't know what I was doing. You see what I'm saying? I was just, the emotion was so real in my mind. I was like, I could do this shit, but it's not like I planned to go there. I was faced with certain situations in my life, and I made decisions to get there. I just remember that specific moment, because when I'm doing the burpees, when I'm incarcerated, I'm like, damn, I kind of said that shit. I prophesized that shit, right? My mind,
you spoke it into existence.
I spoke it into existence. So it's like we all have that in us as men.
Absolutely.
And we all have, that's why I don't look at anything as negative or positive. I'm just like, yo, it is what it is.
Well, welcome to the black pill.
Yeah, black pill, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. And that's just life, my fellas. That's life. That's why you gotta seek the truth in life, man. You gotta seek it. And once you seek it, like you say, you open the shackles of your mind, yo. And then not even that, then you align yourselves with, like, the way I'm talking to you right now. I wouldn't like that would never happen. That would never happen. And think about being aware like this. It's been around for centuries. It's always been around for centuries. It's just we are the next generation that's experiencing it through social media. We're able to spread the message more. We're able to have a platform like this channel right here that speaks on the truth, that is helping young men, yo. Because when we realize we the kings, the guys, whatever you want to call it, yo, the world got nothing to do but to follow, man. And that's real raw truth right there.
That's facts. I want to address Mr. Cam Bash's comment. He says the universe is the self pushed out, even to the level of perception. The brain must generate data for the mind from external inputs. We create our reality. I agree with you, Mr. Bash. The only caveat to your comment is that we already exist in a reality, and the reality we exist in is our overall context. But yes, we do with our thoughts and decisions create our own reality. And according to, and you guys could go check this out, but according to the holographic principle, and I touched on this when me and Red Pill Chauvinist did the drop a couple days ago, that everything that you see outside of you is actually taking place inside of you, just like Mr. Bash's comment points out. You know, all of the inputs that you get information from is external. But all of these things that you think are external are already internal.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Anybody got any comments or questions?
Yeah, I like when people drop comments and questions, because it challenges me. So whenever somebody, make this shit complicated, you know what I'm saying? Let me dive deep into my mind and come out with an answer, man. So definitely, if y'all got a question right now, y'all throw it in there, man. I don't care what the fuck it is. Throw the question in there. Let's see.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
Once upon a time, before you started this journey,
yeah,
like all of us, you were in a period of waking up,
low awareness. Yeah.
And then you got to this point of destructive truth. Could you expound on some of your experience with that?
Damn. Okay. I'm gonna Okay, let me see. Okay, truth. I'll talk about relationships, right? I made the classic mistake of locking down a chick that everybody was smashing, and I'd be at a house party, and the chick is like talking to the dude she used to smash in front of me, and I'm just thinking it's cool, happy go lucky, and and not knowing that the dude, like, I'm the only one that didn't know, and I'm like, damn, now that I do know, I'm not even mad at the situation. I'm just like, damn, I thank God for that situation, because it let me be the person that I am now. So that's the truth right there. Like, I locked down the chick that everybody was topping off. Even if the situation seemed like it benefited me, I still made that choice because I was still in my lack of awareness phase, in my, I would say, my lower self. And that was one situation that I said, damn, like, I didn't have awareness in that situation. Now I'm so aware to the point where I can spot that chick out just by the way she walks. You know what I'm saying? Or just by the way people look at her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or even by the way she speaks about somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I can spot those things out. So and just understand, I'm speaking on a relationship between men, like male and female, but this awakening can happen on your political understanding, on just your religious understanding. You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking on relationship because that's what my channel is not primarily about, but it's part of my channel. But that situation, it was hard for me to come to grips with that. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to. I was like, damn, and I kept on. I was mad at her, but I'm like, damn, that was my lack of awareness, bro. Like, I just didn't spot that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then after me knowing that, what the universe brought to me was other guys that were like me, and I would even tell them, and I realized you can't tell them because niggas ain't ready for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my, like, destruct. Like, I don't know what you would call that. Just like not knowing, not being aware. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that is actually a very good example, and it's an example that quite a few other guys, based on their own admission, right here in the red pill space that we are part of, have that very same experience. Me personally, when it comes to my experience with women, the destructive truth that I had to come to terms with is I had to come to understand that, wait a minute, this ain't just one female. All these females is like this.
Yeah.
And once I made that leap in thinking, dealing with women became a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I even made a comment when I was on one of Affy's panels some time ago. Either early this year or last year, and I made I made a remark, and I said that if you ever spent a length of time dealing with one female, then you know all you need to know in order to deal with any other female, because they all the same.
That's very true.
And I had to unlearn that the thinking that I once, formerly subscribed to, thinking that, oh, this woman is better than this one, and this one is that, and when in reality they all pretty much the same.
Yeah. The only thing that's different is us.
Exactly.
We're the one that's different, and you guys, like, I even understand mirroring now. Like, I understand when a chick mirrors you, so that mirroring can just be manipulation too, guys. So you also have to understand, women, this is just me. Like, you guys will notice if you deal with, like you said, you can deal with one woman and understand a lot of them. That a woman mirrors you because they want to show that their nature is to follow, but through that mirroring, they slowly try to circumvent your leadership naturally.
So they're always testing her. Always.
Yeah. Unless you're able to, like, the chicks I deal with now, it's not really a testing situation. It's just, it is what it is. And you guys have to understand that, like, it's great. I use a perfect example. The chick that I just mentioned, she mirrored me to the point where she was like she wanted to start a business around my fitness. She did all that, you know what I'm saying? All those things, because I would even say, this is me knowing now, like I was always this person. It was just covered up behind society's blinders and my lack of awareness. So I've never wanted kids for the longest, because I was raising my brother since I was 10. So that was in me never wanting kids. So it was like I was with the chick and they mirrored it. She said, I never want kids too. I never want kids. But my lack of leadership, guys, and this is the truth I'm telling you guys that you have to know. My lack of leadership was what deteriorated that situation. Because regardless if the chick has been with 100 dudes or she's been with one dude, you can still, if your leadership is strong, you can manage any chick.
This is fact.
I made a video about body count last week, and I was like, at the end of the day, if a chick smashes one dude for 5 years and she meets you, doesn't mean you're gonna be controlling. She's gonna follow you, bro. The same woman that smashed 500 dudes doesn't mean she's gonna be rebellious. She can listen to you at that time and rock with you. So,
this is true.
That's what you're saying. Like, women they'll follow us naturally, but we have to, as men, we have to be our natural leaders and commanders, man.
That I agree with you 100%. How you present yourself to a woman is what she's going to deal with.
Yeah.
And if you don't present yourself as a leader, then you're not going to be able to get a woman to follow you. And a tidbit of destructive truth for the day that I want to make sure you guys leave with before we get out of here is that the good girl and the bad girl is the same bitch. And another thing is, and I do this in my personal life, and this is how I keep in my mind that all these women are the same. I notice that a lot of guys still pedestalize women. And they do so with their rating system. Oh, this one is a 7. This one is a 10. But they doing it based off looks alone. And I find that's another piece of destructive truth you guys need for the day is that you still pedestalize women when you do that. Treat them all like 4s.
Yeah, facts. They are.
And when you approach, if you treat all women the same, then when you approach them, then you'll have a lot better chance at getting them because you won't think more of one than you do of the other.
Correct. And I would just say, just to add on to what you're saying, guys, have a type of female that you like, man. Like for example, me personally, I'm not attracted to Amber Rose because she got a bald fade like me. You know what I'm saying? That's me. Some niggas love
hit on the head with a plunger.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have what you like, or you're just gonna be out here flowing with the wind. Now, if you can find something attractive in every single woman, that's great too. But I have a specific type. So you have to have a type so you can make things easier, whether you're approaching, whether you dealing with women, you have to have a specific type. Some of you guys aren't honest to say I like a masculine woman, which I don't think you guys should like a masculine woman. I just would say you have to have a type, man. Have a type. Now, not only a type of woman, have a type of career path you want to follow. Have a plan for your life, how you want to attain those things, because that's part of life. In the spiritual realm, what you're doing in the physical affects your spiritual. So if your goal is to become, let's say, a WWE champion, right? It's not just gonna happen overnight. You got to put in the work. You got to meet the right connections. You got to do what you got to do to get to where you want to go. And that's when you can say, wow, I said 5 years ago I wanted to be where I'm at now, and you are there. So have the same way you have a plan for your, let's say you get a new job. You say, I want to be the manager of this store. You're gonna act accordingly to that goal. The same thing with women. the women you deal with have a goal. I'm not saying tell her the goal when you first meet her. You gotta see if she's even worthy to receive what you're offering. So you have to have I look at, you treat one aspect of your life the same way you treat others. And
Yeah, it starts and ends with you guys. Because if the woman is the follower and you the leader, then the responsibility of leading the interaction falls on you.
Yeah, no doubt, no
And
doubt.
anything that goes wrong in that interaction falls on you.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
facts, man.
And just let me get to this question here Mr. Bash has. Do you two have any books you recommend? Absolutely. My retort question would be, is there any specific subject that you're interested in reading about? Because I could recommend all kinds of books. How about you, Mr. IDGAF?
Well, I read, like, I gotta actually get the book. It's The Science of the Mind is one that speaks on a lot of stuff, a lot of concepts we're speaking on now. The Science of the Mind, and that's a book I read daily. And another book that I personally love is I have it right here actually, The Wounded Womb. So that's by Philip Valentine. That teaches you all about the ancient women, understanding women's body, understanding the natural roles of men and women. It talks about semen retention, talks about spirituality, and those two books, I would say, those two books, The Science of the Mind and The Wounded Womb. I'm one of those guys. I like to read a book more than once, so I can just learn a different aspect of the book. So for me personally, I think Science of the Mind. I don't remember the author, but look that up. Science of the Mind and The Wounded Womb. The Wounded Womb is about $100. That's one of my favorite books. I invest in books. I like books that are expensive personally.
Yeah, I invest in a lot of books myself, and I too also have a tendency to read books multiple times. And some books that I have, you can't just read straight through them because they're not that kind of book.
Correct.
Or what you'll notice is that the verbiage in the book is quite difficult to understand, and you might need a dictionary while you're reading it. So this is why I make a habit of taking my time digesting the information and reading books slowly. But one book that I will recommend to you guys is called Get Anybody to Do Anything. And I believe the guy's name is like Lieberman or something.
Let me get that Science of the Mind.
Yeah, hold on. Give me 1 second, fellas. I'm gonna go grab the book right quick, and I'm gonna show you the cover.
Y'all can see that. The Science of the Mind by Ernest Holmes. I read books, I mark them, man. I mark the books, I reread them. I'm gonna wait till Top get back on, but
yeah, here we go.
Go ahead.
This book is called Get Anyone to Do Anything. And yeah, David Lieberman is his name, PhD. This book right here is a guide. You could say it's a guide to learning how to manipulate people, but for the right reasons. This book right here is a guide on how to make good first impressions, how to get people that disagree with you to agree with you. It's a lot of game right here in this book. Matter of fact, this book right here can also improve your interactions with women and people in general. So go check it out. Again, Get Anyone to Do Anything is the title, and David J. Lieberman is the author.
And one thing about books, guys, don't be this guy that just sits in the house and just reads books all day long and actually don't go and practice these things. Like the book he just showed you guys, that's a book that you read, but you have to actually take action on what those books mean. So that's like my book, like Science of the Mind. It's more of internal. But that
Mm-hmm.
book that he just recommended, those are books that you can't. Reading is one thing, but you have to be in the field dealing with people, men and women, to actually let that shit sink in.
Exactly. It's not just the kind of book that you read. You know, you're gonna read it and then you're gonna want to actually go out and apply these things. And what you'll find is that what the information that the book is giving you is solid and is on point, and it could take you quite far in life. I
Yeah,
use I use a lot of the tactics and information from this book myself.
yeah. And personally, guys, just to speak on that type of book, um, I have a lot of sales experience. So I recommend you guys, if you want to get better socially, if you want to get better with dealing with people, male, female, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, get you a situation where you get in a career path where you have to talk a lot. You have
Hmm.
to talk a lot. You have to sell something. You have to be able to understand someone that's 80 years old, understanding a chick that's 19 years old, understanding somebody that's in their mid 30s. They're all the same, but you have to be able to resonate with people at different levels of their lives. So that's just personal experience with personal experience. I learned a lot of my shit just from interactions with people. Like,
Hmm.
I could deal with an Asian person. I could crack jokes with an Asian motherfucker. I could see a motherfucker from the block crack jokes with him. Homeless motherfucker come, I could talk to him. A professional guy comes, I'm able to resonate with him. So you just that opens you up. Like, that's active learning. Your subconscious is learning how to deal with people. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little tip of advice from personal experience, guys.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's some good advice, Mr. IDGIAF. I want to thank you very much for coming through and
Salute,
joining
salute.
me on this drop for the Übermensch series, episode number 2, Destructive Truth. Do you have any final thoughts before we get out of this place, man?
The one thing I like to tell guys is just continue to grow, man. Continue to grow, mentally, spiritually, physically, and ask your subconscious to show you the truth, man. The truth is ugly. The truth may not be cute. The truth may not have a fat ass. The truth may not have what you want, but the truth is what it is, man. All right, that's
Exactly.
it.
And like the Savior Jesus so eloquently said before, know the truth, and the truth will make you free. And with that, this has been another episode of the Top Cast. Before we get out of here, sir, could you please once again drop your socials so the people will know where to follow you at?
You can follow at I_DGAF mindset on Instagram. I_DGAF mindset. Click the link in my bio. Show some love and show some motherfucking love to this guy right here, man, for taking his time out of his day to drop this knowledge for y'all, man. Cause you motherfuckers, this is free shit, man. Like,
Mm,
this is free shit, and y'all need to understand, appreciate that. Even just drop a like, throw some bread, it's offering, man. Y'all just got some knowledge, man. Pay it back, and the universe gonna give it to you back 10 times, man.
absolutely. Absolutely. Pay it forward. Cash
Pay
app.
forward. Yeah, my bad. See that's articulation right there. Thank you for that. Pay
I
it
know that's
forward.
right. You're more than welcome, brother, man. My Cash App is right here scrolling across the bottom. If you want to donate along with my PayPal, feel free. I certainly appreciate it. And I would like to thank you guys for coming through and joining me on another episode of the Top Cast. This has been episode 2 of the Übermensch series, Destructive Truth. I hope you guys enjoy. I want to say thanks again to my guests. I want to have you back again soon. You know
Yeah,
how we do.
no
And
doubt, no doubt.
if you guys haven't already, go follow the Top Cast, the_T.O.P _cast on Instagram, and follow me here, subscribe here on YouTube, and don't forget to go over and check out the first season of the Top Cast on Anchor Podcast. 2 episodes left before we go into season 2. You're missing a lot of fire game that you just ain't gonna get here on YouTube. Until next time, peace. We out.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time around, the revolution will not be televised. As we proceed to give you what you need. Oh, God, get it live, ladies and gentlemen of the court. In the hell of the guest, making hip hop versus electronic. I present Exhibit C. When I was sleeping on the train, sleeping on Festival Lab out in the rain, without even a single slice of pizza to my name. Too proud to beg for change, mastering the pain. New York niggas was calling Southern rappers lame, but then Jack and I slang. I used to get dizzy spells, hear a little rain, the voice of an angel telling me my name, telling me that one day I'ma be a great man, transforming with the Megatron dog, spitting out flames, eating whack rappers alive, shitting out chains. I ain't believe it, nigga, I was homeless, fighting, shooting dice, smoking weed on the corners, trying to find the meaning of life in the corona, till the 5%ers rolled up on the nigga and informed them. You either build or destroy, where you come from, the Magnolia Projects in the Third Ward. It's quite amazing that you rhyme how you do and that you shine like you grew up in a shrine and you grew. Question 14, Muslim lesson 2. Tip diver, civilizer 85er. I make the devil hit his knees and say to our Father, abracadabra. You rockin' with the true and living. Shout out the Lights Out, Joseph I, Chewy Bivens. Shout out to Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Cool and Richmond. While y'all debating who the truth was, like Jews and Christians, I was on C2B, Broad Street, Master, North Philly, South Philly, 23rd, Tasker, 6 Mile, 7 Mile, Hartwell, Gratiot. When niggas really world pack you all truck up. Put the high beams on, drive up on the curb at the barbecue and hop up out the back like what's up? Kill a nigga, rob a nigga, take a nigga, what's up? That's why when you talk that tough talk, I never feel you. It sound real good and you play the part well, but the energy you giving off is so unfamiliar. I don't feel you. We need something real. Nas hit me up on the phone, say what you waiting on. Tip hit me up with a tweet, say what you waiting on. Diddy send me text every hour on the dot saying when you gon' drop that first nigga you taking long. So now I'm back spitting that he can pass a polygram. That Reverend Run rocking the beaters out on Hollis Ave. That FOI Marcus Garvey, Nicky Tesla. I shot you like an ill electric field, J Electra. Oh my God! Yeah, they call me J Electronica. Fuck that. Call me J Elect Hanukkah, J Elect Yarmulke, J Elect Tramadan, Muhammad Assalamaka, Basura Nasipana, Wata Allah through the monitor. My Uzi still weighing ton, check the barometer. I'm hotter than the motherfucking sun, check the thermometer. I'm bringing ancient mathematics back to modern man. My mama told me never throw a stone and hide your hand. I got a lot of family, you got a lot of fans. That's why the people got my back like the Verizon man. I play the back and fade the black and then devise a plan. Out in London, smoking, vibing while I ride the tram, giving out that raw food to lions disguised as lambs. And by the time they get their seat top and deploy the henchmen to come at me from the treetops, I'm chilling out at tree stock, building by the millions. My life is brilliant. I rest my case. Oh God, Act 3, first chapter in the end. Last chapter of the beginning. Make the song. Things we do without even trying. We better than a lot of y'all records. We'll get mad. More than acting. What a player. Real up. I ain't even gonna say nothing. Matter of fact, I ain't saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. Jay, you should have pumped to do this over. We moving out. On to the next record. And I'm gonna let this shit ride.